Yep, there we are, there we are. Hello, folks. This is Mike from Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement / Paint Correction here in a sunny, mighty fine Tuesday, Sharpsburg, Georgia. Yeah. See Sally sitting out there. That's basically, look at all that pollen dust on her. That's basically a day's worth of pollen accumulation on her. That's okay. We'll fix that up like we did our nifty little 2010, I believe it is, according to the door tag, Toyota Prius here. Cool, pretty cool little car. I'm impressed with it. Don't want one, but I'm impressed. Well, it was brought down here where I got it by my mechanic who's going to do some work on it, and the owner, a lady, as I understand, haven't met her, haven't talked to her, wanted the headlights restored because it was going to cost about, I think he said $500 to replace those headlights, and they were pretty bad. And some of the damage, I restored those yesterday. Some of the damage, I think you can see some right there, is on the inside of the lens, and I can't do anything about that, but they were improved tremendously. Wet sanded them, compounded them, blah blah blah, and then finished off with a new 2K clear coat. So these will be good for years, especially if they're maintained properly. It's just, whenever you wash the car or whatever, just throw a little protection on there every time you think about it. I did my car with that, I don't know, 3 years ago, and they still look really good. But the optical clarity, at the very minimum, from her driving at night should be much better. She'll get a lot more light out of these cars. And, just playing around, because he said he didn't need the car back for a couple of days. What I did yesterday, I gave it, because it was caked with pollen dust. This thing was almost a yellowish green. I gave it a foam bath with a real strong high alkaline soap. Let it sit. Then I rinsed it off thoroughly with my pressure washer. Cleaned up those wheels and tires. They didn't get a extreme scrubbing, but they got a pretty thorough one. Cleaned them up pretty good. They came out all right. Oh boy. Then I dried it with my car dryer using the heated and filtered air. Yeah, to get it dry. Used a drying agent on it first as I was washing it. I never did a contact wash, never put my hands on it during that process. All I did was foam it, rinse it off with the drying aids, and pull it in the garage. But then I did do, after I got it nice and dry, I did do what's called a rinseless wash using the Optimum No Rinse Wash and Shine, because that rinseless wash leaves a little bit of protection behind, which is what I wanted. So, which that doesn't take very long. You don't got no buckets, no hoses, none of that stuff. Probably went through 4 or 5 wash mitts doing that. Always work clean, folks. Always work clean. Cleaned the glass relatively well, just a light cleaning. And then I topped all that off with what's called a top coat. In this case, TK6 by DPC. The glass, the metal, the plastic, the rubber, everything got that. Which, there again, that doesn't take long. And it spiffed it up pretty well, I think. Pretty well. And then these pillar posts, as they're called, with this piano black on it, they were stained, not looking too good. So I just did a quick light polish on those with my dual action free spinning buffer and a soft pad and a finishing polish just to clean those up a little bit. Did the other side as well. Now this car could stand to have all this stuff done. All this stuff. Could be made to look much, much better. It looks better already. All this rubber stuff here could be redone. But I mean, I'm just playing around. This is not part of the deal. My deal was to restore the headlights. And like I said, I had time on my hands. He didn't need the car back right away. So I was just playing. See, this wasn't a total strip wash, which is, this car needs it. There's still, as you can see, there's some contaminants left here and there. There's a little bit of pollen dust left in these deep little crevices here, which could be gotten out on a normal strip wash with a detail brush going in there. But that wasn't what this was all about. This was, I just wanted to quick clean it up for her and make it look better, and it just sure looks a whole lot better than it did. But I just talked to the mechanic. Hey, Miss Bonita. And he said he doesn't need this car back till tomorrow. So, Miss Bonita, I'm going to play with this car just a little bit more, just for fun. Just for fun. It's not costing this lady a dime for me to do this. But this hood is particularly hammered kind of badly. I don't think this car has been all that well maintained appearance over the years, and I suspect strongly from what I'm seeing it's been through a number of tunnel washes, which is not good for your car. I don't care what they say, and I will debate that with any of those people, any of them. But I just finished, oh my goodness, I just finished deconning this hood, which is where I'm going to focus at, because he needs his car back tomorrow, and I may take it back to him this afternoon. Oh man, but I deconned this paint earlier, and I'm getting ready to clay bar it. I got my clay bar out, got my clay lube out. That's a mild grade. Because I want to get as many of the bonded and embedded contaminants out of this paint as I can, Miss Bonita, before I start buffing on it. I'm going to do what's called a one-step polish with an all-in-one product. There it is right there. 3D Speed. 3D is the name of the company, and it leaves behind a little bit of protection, and then I'll go back over it again with some more of that TK6 to increase the gloss and shine a little bit. Got my paint thickness gauge out here. I've tested the paint, and as I expected, you know, in the last 10 or 15 years, they've really gotten thin with all this stuff. Get this thing set here. I was going to show you, there's about an average on this hood of, can y'all read that? It's almost 4 mils there. When you move it around the hood, you get different readings, but the average is around 4 mils, which is enough to work with, but you can't go real deep because you want to preserve as much clear coat as possible. And when you got 4 mils of paint, that counts the primer, the base coat, and the clear coat. So it doesn't tell me how much clear coat is left, but with 4 mils total, which is, Miss Bonita, that's about the thickness of a Post-it note. That tells me there can't be a whole heck of a lot of clear coat on here. And a lot of it's been worn away over the years. Like I said, this is a 2010, probably from excessive use of tunnel washes. But you can see there's a contaminant there that has embedded into the clear coat. I may or may not be able to get rid of that altogether. I don't know. But there's a good bit of what a lot of people like to call oxidation. I think you can see it's kind of dull looking there. I mean, from back here, you got a pretty good shine because of the products I put on there. But you can see a lot of soap staining, I call it, mostly from the car washes, insufficient rinses. Insufficient rinsing. There's some paint chips. You can see that's paint chips there, over there. I can't do anything about those. But you move from this hood down to this front nose, it almost looks like 2 different colors, Miss Bonita. because that one's hammered so badly, which is typical. It happens a lot, you know, for cars that are driven a good bit. And I understand, I haven't really looked, but this car's got a couple 100,000 miles on it. So apparently it's been a pretty doggone good car so far. But you can see right there some light scratching there. My one step may take most of that out. It just depends. But there again, that paint looks to be different than this paint. But just to satisfy some people, I was going to show this has got some really slick top coat on it right now, which would last, I don't know, 4 to 6 months depending on it. But this metal hood, this is a magnet, a refrigerator magnet. It won't stick to the paint. Is that impressive or what? I don't know. I don't know. Does it really matter? Not to me. I've told y'all before, the slide test doesn't mean a heck of a whole lot. You know, it's probably the same way before I even put the top coat on it, you know. But she's got some scratching in the windshield, which there are two types of glass polishing, topical and substrate. A topical polish would remove the drizzle stains, the contaminants, and all that kind of stuff from the glass, but it will not remove that scratching, which is from dirty windshield wipers. You can see the pattern there. That's called substrate polishing. It's very difficult to do. It's exhausting. And to do a substrate polish, which would remove or reduce some of those scratchings, is kind of like the paint. The real deep ones you don't want to go after. I don't know how much a new windshield would cost on this thing. Insurance might cover that sometimes, but it's scratched all to pieces. I mean, look at that. Holy cow. But that is a service that's available. But to do a substrate polish on this thing, Miss Bonita, to try to remove those scratches, or as much of them as possible, just to do that windshield would probably take 3-4 hours or more. So it's pretty labor intensive. And I mean, it is hard work. It's very, very difficult to do. And sometimes the results are less than satisfying. So I don't do a whole lot of that. Most of the time when I do that, it's on classic cars where they absolutely want to preserve the original glass if possible. They don't want to replace it, but they want to preserve it. And sometimes some of these windshields get real pricey. The ones that got sensors in them and heads-up displays and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know why some vehicles, even without all that, why it's so much more than others. I don't really know. And I don't know how much it would cost to replace this windshield, but it is scratched pretty bad. And I bet you, in going down the road in direct sunlight, I bet them scratches make it hard to see out. And at night, when oncoming headlights, bright ones, are hitting you in the windshield, probably reduces the clarity a good bit. I don't know. But that's a judgment she'll have to make. I've typed all that up for her, and it will be available for her to read and consult at her leisure. Be happy to do some of it for her if she wants me to. A glass coating, like the one I use, is 2 to 3 years, would help this a lot. It will fill in some of those scratches, but not all of them. But it improves your driving experience a lot. But that's just up to her. I'll do that for her if she wants, but I'm just going to do the hood for now. Like I say, I'll play around with it. What I'll do is tape it off, and I'll come back after a while and show you guys how I'll leave a line of demarcation, as we like to call it in this business, so that maybe we can see the difference from one side to the other side. I'll probably start on this side. You can see over there where I've started taping off, but I stopped because I think I'm going to clay bar first, because I ain't got to worry about the edges of the paint or anything like that while I'm clay barring. But I'm going to get busy, Miss Bonita. Thanks for dropping by, sweetie. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like, tag, share, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that kind of stuff. Comment, blah, 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 blah. You know, they teach you to say all that stuff when you make these videos. Okay. Let's see how much improvement we can do on this hood with a one-step, shall we? Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.